Kevin from thechesswebsite.com, and today we're going to be looking at a second game that I played, and it was actually a Blitz game, so a little bit different format, but just kind of wanted to go through a few more of my games and just kind of talk about how I approach the game and during the game what I'm thinking and how I try to execute that plan. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this game. Started out just e4. That's kind of what I always start out with. They responded with knight c6, and I just developed as normal. He developed to pawn to d6, and so I just continue pushing my pawns up. Obviously I've got two defenders on this pawn, so I feel pretty safe. And right away, black does an unusual move. And any time I see this, I usually just try to develop like normal. I'm not really sure if he's trying to set a trap, but usually from this, I know that he's not going to castle kingside. Most people, if they, sometimes you'll see him move it to, f5 here, but most people, if they're just going to do it to f6, they're going to castle queenside, because this really isn't doing much for their kingside development and keeping their kingside safe. So from here on out, I'm really going to have kind of in the back of my head that I'm going to try to attack queenside in anticipation that he is going to castle queenside. So just keep that in mind as I play. But right away, I'm just going to continue developing. I'm going to go ahead and push this knight out of here and see what he does, and he just kind of moves it. And I'm going to go ahead and exchange pieces here. One, it is a blitz game, and two, I'm going to go ahead and have him double up his pawns, and I want to see exactly how his structure is going to look. If he takes with the f pawn, obviously now I know kind of what he's going to do. So he takes with his d pawn, and so we're just going to continue. I bring out my bishop, and I have my pawn here on d5, so I can attack this c6 square twice. And so I'm going to try to kind of break up his queen side as well, since his king side is already a little weak. So he brings his bishop, and blitz games, more so than normal games, I'll exchange pieces a little more quickly. So we went ahead and exchanged, and I'm just going to go ahead and castle king side. I have a pretty good setup here, good central control. My pieces, they haven't gone in any random places. His setup is decent, but his pawn structure's not the best, so right now I feel like I have the edge. He's going to castle queenside, which we kind of thought was going to happen. Anytime one side castles kingside, one side castles queenside, a lot of times it's a race to see who can checkmate the king first. So right away, my new game plan is try to checkmate the black king. It's no longer set up, nice structure, everything. All my queenside pieces are now going straight at the black king, and he's probably going to start pushing on my king side. So I right away push up my c pawn, and he tries to break up. He's got double pawns here, so he's going to try to break up this structure. And I'm going to go ahead and just bring my a3 pawn here. I really don't want him to bring his bishop into the action. Right now I'm not too worried about this pawn being taken. So he's going to go ahead and take it. I'm going to take back. Obviously he can't take because I've got protection here. So he continues to push this, and he's weakening his kingside more. You can see that, but I've got so much pressure here that he's got to do something about it. So I just developed my knight, normal play here, and he decides just to push forward, and you can already see his kingside's getting pretty weak here. So right away my king side is really safe, so I feel pretty good about this so far. I'm going to go ahead and bring my queen into the action. He's going to push his pawn here. Obviously he doesn't want to give me too much room, bringing my queen or my knight in here. But you can see every move he kind of continues to weaken his king safety. So I'm going to go ahead and develop my bishop, connect my rooks here. My rooks can kind of roam freely on this first row here, which is always a good thing to do with your rooks. And he brings his knight here. obviously he can't bring his knight to f5, and he wants to kind of put his knight here, and kind of, obviously he has a threat of coming out here. He can bring his queen down here, and I'm just going to just push my pawn up. These small preventative things that you can do with your pieces can sometimes do a lot. He no longer can move his knight, so he's going to have to eventually move his knight back. Right now we're not going to worry about it. We're going to go ahead and put our rook on this semi-open file. Black doesn't have a pawn on this file, and we're just going to push here so we can kind of push this pawn down Black's throat. He brings his knight back into the action. He's probably going to have to use this knight to protect on this side. So we're going to go ahead and bring our queen. Obviously we can have some discovered attacks if we continue to push this up. And he brings his queen here. So I actually like the queen back. May have wasted a move there, but I like the queen better in this position. And he starts to move his king a little bit. And now we're going to get our knight involved. And you can see I'm really starting to slowly put pressure on attacking his king. So, and he really hasn't done too much to my king. My king's pretty safe, and his king's under a lot of attack. So I'm going to go ahead and start pushing up pawns, and he's going to ignore them. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my knight up here. Brings his bishop into the action. I'm going to go ahead and bring my rook. So both my rooks are very active here. One of his rooks isn't doing anything, so I feel like I have an advantage of that. He brings his knight here. I'm going to go ahead and bring my bishop here, pinning his bishop to the knight, and he's going to start his attack on the king side. And I'm just going to put an extra defender to this bishop, and he brings his rook to the d file. Now I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice a little bit. He takes, and then I'm going to go ahead and take this piece, basically winning an extra piece right here. He can't take, obviously, because I have my knight defending. So he moves his queen. I'm going to go ahead and double up my rooks along this open file, so these rooks are just bearing down on him. He's going to start an attack on my king side some more. I'm going to go ahead and I kind of want to eye this f5 square if he'll let me, just because it's a great outpost, and he can't really push it away. These rooks are going to have a hard time getting to it, and this bishop can't knock it out. So that's where I am going to go, and I'm going to go ahead and trade off, and then I'm going to go ahead and start trading off pieces. I kind of calculated real quickly that I'm going to have a winning endgame here. So he's got to trade off, and then once he trades off here, I'm going to centralize my knight here, and then he pretty much offers, hey, do you want my queen here? And his king is pretty much out of the equation, and I pretty much realized here that if I trade off, I can pretty much gobble up all his pawns and have a winning game. Obviously, he's got 5 pawns and I have 6, and I feel like I can pretty much gobble them up. And if I need to, I can pretty much put all my pawns on light squares so his bishop can't touch him. So I go ahead and trade off, and after he trades, I start to centralize my king. First, I move my knight out of the way. I'm not too worried. I can always take back with my pawn, and I'm about to gobble up these pawns with my king. So then I move my knight, added protection. He takes that. He can't take it with his bishop because of my knight. And then I just start gobbling up pawns here, as you see, and I don't really worry about that too much. Then I just start pushing pawns up the board. There's not much he can do here. As you can see, I kind of move my, and then I just basically, maybe sooner than I need to, but I'm just going to go ahead and get the queen and make him give me his bishop. And from here, as you can see, it's pretty much easy game. I can push either of these pawns up the board, and it's a very easy win for me. So this is one of my blitz games. Hopefully you can take some of the things that I look for in my own game and apply them to your game. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't checked out the website soon, recently I've put up some more stuff on there, so it's just the www.thechesswebsite.com. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.